So hard to believe people are acting happy around a company owned by Comcast. Universal tries to excuse 23-second logo by including acapella warm-up audio underneath it.
Oh, this one's gonna stick, John.
Well, you saved the Jew for last.
That's racist.
Listening to Let's Talk Acapella, the world's premier downloadable acapella podcast.
So are you telling me that after the events of the last movie, acapella competitions are no longer televised? That seems like a downgrade, and makes this movie even more unnecessary. Is it legal to use footage of the president at some obviously other event in your movie to make it look like he attends acapella competitions? Because I don't think it should be if it is.
Going down.
The song choice for the Barden Bellas is Timber, which is appropriate because of all the cutting during this scene. Also, Bellas sadly lose points right out of the gate by choosing to perform a Pitbull song. Even Obama's thinking Anna Kendrick isn't my girlfriend in this scene. Acapellaing now somehow includes both color guard rifle twirling and gymnastics tumbling. Shouldn't that be against the rules?
Florencia Fuentes just earned her green card, John.
Look, I know what you're doing. You're being over-the-top racist for laughs, but this just seems forced.
She may have to do that backflip right back over the fence into Mexico.
The only way this would be redeemable is if these broadcasters were actually trying to get fired so they wouldn't have to do these competitions anymore. But I have a sinking feeling that's not the case. I'd remove 10 sins if that's what happens.
There is so much happening on stage, I don't even know where to look.
The same could be said for the editing of this movie. Yep, the Barden Bellas somehow transitioned from Pitbull's Timber to America the Beautiful in one single performance, which shows a lack of respect for both Pitbull and America.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Okay, now you're just pissing on America the Beautiful. Also, Championship Acapella Team believes this is the best place for Fat Amy, who these movies have so named because of the hilarity that she is fat. There's no way this could have worked out in rehearsals or their imaginations.
Overweight girl dangling from the ceiling. Who hasn't had that dream?
Here's another movie that thinks fat girls are comedy fodder purely by virtue of being fat. I get the sense that Pitch Perfect fancies itself a PG-13 American Pie, where the opening scene always ends up being embarrassing in some way.
In case you're wondering what I mean by down under, Chip, I'm talking about her vagina.
In case you're wondering, Coffee with Connie bleeps out the medically accurate term vagina from their broadcasts.
She showed her vagina to the president.
Movie's entertainment news anchor is doing my job for me. Sequel about niche world of acapella singing decides to thrust them into the national spotlight via presidential performances and Today Show mentions, even though in the real world acapella would scare both of them off. Meanwhile, while Muffgate is hilarious, another national broadcast feels it's okay to call this scandal Muffgate, but you can't say vagina. You put Anna Kendrick in a plaid miniskirt and I am duty-bound to melt into a...
Funding is drying up. Sponsors are pulling out.
You had sponsors for acapella competitions? I'm not even angry. That's amazing.
The Bellas are hereby suspended.
Oh no, now this movie can't happen.
But the truth is, you're just women. And you'll all be pregnant soon.
How the f*** do the Barden Bellas get suspended in a society that allows these broadcasters remarks? Society is apparently both uptight and lax depending on what a movie wants from it.
I'm just gonna write my songs and join an a cappella group.
Songs that include lyrics about loving yourself, in which this anti-vagina society will definitely not approve.
Where every 4 years, groups from around the globe compete for world domination. I'm sorry, I just feel like I always have to be on.
I can tell that Elizabeth Banks is having a hard time working with the director of this movie. Seriously, how many camera setups do you go through when you do these scenes? You guys work way too hard to not give us anything to focus on.
When I was 9 years old, my brother tried to sell me fried chicken.
Introducing Flo, ladies and gentlemen. She's here to remind you that your problems are of the first world variety, while at the same time perpetuating weird racial stereotypes. Isn't she fun?
Just want to put you in a box and saw you in half.
Young Hannibal Lecter. Hey, that sign merely says the, bitches, the. Also, why send a note with magazine cutout lettering if you're going to use your own stationery and sign your goddamn name? These two people are still somehow together. You're hired!
I need really great ideas. Snoop is coming!
This guy demanded ideas in exactly 1 minute, and Becca looks like she has some ideas, but movie cuts away from this scene as if time's not a factor, and she'll be able to share her ideas a week from now.
You do not want to hear that woman doing it with my dad.
What an odd thing to say.
Fat Amy would be amazing at CinemaSins. Also, didn't we just hear Emily say gross when her mom said she was going to be her sister? Who thinks that's gross and then says some like this?
It's always good to have an extra body, just in case one of us gets kidnapped for ransom.
How did this girl end up going to college and joining an a cappella group when she's clearly one note? Movie spends 3 minutes of its runtime on this party, and no one breaks into song or makes out or gets assaulted, and no one ends up shoved in the pool, and have these filmmakers ever been to college?
Plague, Slargan, Dorfless.
Somehow Emily and Benji will be a thing by the end of this movie. Don't kill the messenger.
Number's back!
Yep, they brought this guy back for the sequel, because he's why you love the original, right? German pentatonics. Also, supposed European champions sing an awful rendition of Muse's Uprising, a song that does not lend itself to a cappella in any way. I mean, I like movies and stuff, but when was the last time a new car was announced via a cappella group singing? Like, never?
You are, what do the American kids say? Jelly.
Yes, this is indeed an a cappella group standoff. I'm legitimately surprised they're not literally singing Jets and Sharks right now.
You are the kicker of ass?
Why does every one of these competition movies need an evil team? Why can't the rival team be filmed with a bunch of underdogs who work just as hard as a good team? At the very least, we could stop all this bring it on every time someone stomps a yard, drum line, steps up, purple rains, 8 miles, or electric boogaloos.
You are so tiny. Like an elf.
How dare you talk to my secret second wife like that? Acapella group practice montage begins with cat crawling ass exposure instead of singing. How much fluff is in this movie? At most, this should have been an 80-minute cash grab of a sequel, but it's nearly 2 hours, probably for the very reason of not appearing to be a cash grab of a sequel. Ang Lee's Pitch Perfect 2. Also, acapella training somehow includes all the ribbon dancing. There are 12 panels of action on screen right here. That means the movie officially wants to fool you or f*** you.
Come Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't matter what you do to these Christmas songs, it still sounds like everything else. But this will be considered genius, no doubt. Once again, this girl demonstrates remixed Jedi powers so strong she should already be in the music business instead of here, auditioning for a job and but whatever. Cool remix, yo.
Dax, did you see what happened there?
Even though I love Keegan-Michael Key, and he could do no wrong in my eyes, movie steals the Sean Combs character from Get Him to the Greek. Characters beat each other with pillows, which were made from the contents of this movie. Also, yet another all-female pillow fight I was not invited to. I'm beginning to think this is intentional.
You know this sets women back like 30 years.
Yep, and also that you joking about that does not remove the blatant sexism of this scene. I'm always conflicted when I see an actor in a movie who would rip this kind of to pieces as a stand-up comic. At least it's not Alvin and the Chipmunks this time.
Hey! What are you doing here? What is...
This supposedly romantic couple doesn't speak to each other at all, apparently.
Out of Wisconsin, the Green Bay Packers!
Here's a good explanation for the Packers' somehow disappointing season where they still made the playoffs.
A $42,000 gift card to Dave & Buster's!
So, nothing then? Movie thinks I'll overlook repetition of the empty pool sing-off from the first movie if it dresses it up in some kind of Zoolander underground setting. And movie is wrong. Discount Clay Matthews, well, I'll be damned. So, where are we in this movie? There's some weird rivalry between a German team and a disgraced American team. Becca and Jesse are still dating but never talk to each other. Red Hot Emily will start dating Benji once he can finally speak words because she clearly has no other options, and Becca is about to let down the Bellas by putting work over the World Championships. The main conflict of the movie hasn't even happened yet. What the f*** am I watching?
Green Bay Packers!
This won't be the last time the Green Bay Packers hear this.
We are never, ever, ever, ever getting back.
These two battling a cappella teams both sing in the same key to help each other out. Wait, what?
What's love got to do? Got to do with it?
Even if you're clearly stupid like Bumper and his team is, I don't see how you think that What's Love Got to Do With It has anything to do with John Mayer. But let's rewind for a second. What does 1,000 Miles have to do with John Mayer? Or that Taylor Swift song that was supposed to be about Jake Gyllenhaal? This is actually a stupid-ass category when it comes down to it.
It's an 100% no.
This just keeps getting funnier. God damn, that scene lasted 14 minutes.
Listen, Reggie, is it Reggie?
Asshole can't remember people's names cliche.
Rebecca, what is it? Becca?
This is supposed to be funny a second time in 30 seconds.
Hey, it's Jesse. Text me.
Hey, it's me.
Reggie, because that's funny. By the way, are we still dating? We spent more time together in the last movie when you had absolutely no chance to get me.
Becca effing Mitchell. Okay? You're the big BM.
Screenwriters, y'all. Also, the idea that Anna Kendrick would ever need a pep talk from anyone other than the mirror. Movie has time for this love story. Actually, I think Fat Amy and Bumper have spent more time on screen together than Becca and Jesse.
I'm a free-range pony. They can't be tamed.
Is it in this girl's contract that she improvise all her lines poorly? Becca's expression matches mine. Any excuse to drag these assholes back in the picture, I guess. Why weren't they at David Cross's mansion for the Dave & Buster's gift card sweepstakes? Also, I thought they hated the Bellas for their so-called Muffgate. Why would they even bother covering this event? I'm so angry at this movie right now. And as I see Fat Amy perform on this stage for mostly older people, I wonder how someone so disgraced in the media earlier is allowed on stage in the first place. Also, did they even practice this? I thought Becca was so obsessed with her career she didn't even get around to creating the set, but apparently she did just enough to pull off a show even if it ends up failing spectacularly.
Gail, it's as if the Barton Bellas just don't know who they are anymore.
Isn't this the same problem from the last movie? When they'd done the same routine for so long that they'd lost their identity and edge? I like the first movie too, people, but sometimes stories simply cannot support sequels.
This is what happens when you send girls to college.
Is it?
Ah, so there's a voice of reason in this broadcasting team? The one talking about green cards earlier?
There's only one thing for us to do. Fake your own death and flee the country.
Say something else, please.
It's a sisterhood that is going to support you for the rest of your life.
I was in an a cappella group in college, briefly, for 2 performances. I ain't heard from any of those assholes since, so...
When my hands aren't covered in glitter paint, do you think maybe we could try that again?
Yeah. Sure.
Has no one else asked this girl out yet? God damn it, they brought back this chick too, because it isn't so much a movie as it is a reunion special. Also, company retreats.
And where are we staying?
I am not invited to this sleepover. Becca and Chloe failed to reenact the Spider-Man kiss.
I hope the sun never comes up.
Is this girl molesting the other girl next to her? Because that's, a felony or something.
Touching my goodies?
Yes.
I'd like to see how this scene would have played if it was Seth Rogen lying next to her.
I just need some help getting it out. Can you sing something? The pipe's a bit blocked.
I'm all out of faith.
Natalie Imbruglia X-Lax.
What kind of white shit is this?
You've been singing lots of white songs since you joined this group, but apparently you're disturbed enough about this song's apparent whiteness that you have to say catchy token black person phrase. These are some of the lamest, most worthless team building exercises in the history of ever. They actually paid money to come out to a retreat center to sleep in a tent and walk past each other on a log.
Then his number came up and he was gone with the draft.
Seriously, this movie decided it would go to singing boot camp, and as if that isn't hammering it on the nose, perhaps Cynthia Rose's army shirt does the trick. Also, I don't know what this is supposed to do. The problem was that they tried too hard to be something else, but one of their main stars didn't dedicate enough time to rehearse it. And didn't she have an internship at a recording studio earlier? This could be one of the biggest messes I've ever seen on film, and I saw Terminator Genesis. This isn't team building, this is just regular fun. This is a Devin Supertramp video, what the f***? I think these actresses just got together and had fun with each other for a few weeks as friends, happened to film it and cut it into a supposed movie. Bunch of fat-shaming jokes, girls wrestling in mud. How does a movie with this many powerful women involved end up being so goddamn sexist?
Sorry, what are we doing?
Good question. I would have asked it several hours ago.
You've been lying to us for the entire year, and now—
Skip!
Seriously, this whole place is like full of booby traps.
While I agree this is a shitty retreat center, this is actually the first booby trap you've encountered. Oh my god. 5 minutes of campfire feelings and this fluff sequel doesn't even get close to turning into The Craft. I would even have accepted a discount Foxfire, because there's nudity in that. Also, and a camp is literally at a camp with a campfire. Poetry.
Want to collaborate on something?
Wait, you being serious?
Yeah?
Sometimes even a good movie moment gets obscured by cleavage. I mean distractions. I mean boobs.
I will try to re-enter this country, but I will probably die at sea.
Immigration issues are hilarious. No, seriously, even though tons of immigrants die at sea every year trying to enter this country, if you take a step back from it all, it's easy to laugh at it.
Did we just find our sound?
Was that really the main problem they were having in this movie? Was it really? I mean, really? The main problem this movie presented was that Becca wasn't paying much attention to the group when they were in disarray. Kind of like the direction of this movie, actually.
Really misjudged the size of this lake.
Why didn't you just walk around the lake?
My question is, how did everything work out that Fat Amy could be on a boat trying to win back Bumper, and the Bellas can watch this from their doorstep?
How much we really care.
Jesus Christ, this song is still going. Can't they get back together already? Was this couple really that near and dear to everyone's hearts that we can't get enough of them? This is considered good enough to be something.
Good job, Reggie.
See, now I'm pissed. This is considered funny enough to happen a third time. Now I've got to dissect this recurring joke and wonder how the guy can remember the same wrong name, Reggie, over and over, but can't remember Becca. Wait, that was an entire year? The f***? I mean, I didn't see any snow. Did nothing of importance happen to these people during winter? Discount Google Earth. Also, is any of this supposed to mean something to me? Seriously. It's like, let's pause the movie for a brief Bing image map search of a place.
Why don't we go visit Hayden Christian Anderson's house?
Well, that's a stretch of a name swap. Why not Hans Gruber Anderson, or Christian Grey Anderson, or even Pamela Christian Anderson? If every hardcore acapella fan in the world showed up in the same spot for a global contest, do you think they'd need, like, Woodstock-type land, or maybe just a WNBA arena? Bonnaroo. Here are the world's acapella announcers, probably all saying racist in various Scandinavian languages.
I spent some time with some ladyboys in the Philippines myself.
Not surprising.
Very interesting young men.
Skip.
No one cares about the Korean group.
That's racist, goddammit. Extremely unlikely. Canadian team has a digital video display to go along with holy is that Pentatonics? It is! Stop the f***ing movie! I need to see about getting an autograph. Also, movie will put Pentatonics in an acapella competition, but not award them the victory. Movie is stretching my suspension of disbelief seriously here, yo. Also, movie gave more screen time to Clay Matthews and the Packerettes than it did to Pentatonics. All the various world teams in this montage are singing in the same key and using the same exact bass line. I know you have a montage to create, but damn, can we keep a little realism in this thing? A tiny bit? It pisses me off that every single one of these other national a cappella groups are apparently just happy to be here and have absolutely no chance to win this competition, and their performances are essentially staged that way, as warm-up acts for white people.
Running off stage to take a few more of our jobs.
I thought the little one was spicy.
You guys are dead to me. Oh yeah, she has a boyfriend, and he's here? In whatever non-American place this is taking place in? Why is he here if he wasn't important enough to see in the last 40 minutes? Not that it matters, but Das Sound Machine literally took 2/3 of its name from Gloria Estefan's backing band. Wait, all these groups have digital media background pieces? Is that part of the judging? How is Haiti supposed to compete if the judges are taking more than just the singing into account?
This could be the most significant conflict between America and Germany in history.
Crack a book, John.
Why is she the voice of reason in this announcing group? It's clear she's also an awful person, so where did she draw the line? I wonder how they managed to learn this routine in 15 minutes. What's that you say? They learned this off-screen somewhere over months and months? But I didn't even get to see a montage. Not one montage! Climactic winning a cappella singing routine opens with 30 seconds of snapping and clapping.
Looks like the Barton Bellas are being joined on stage by generations of Bellas going...
Which somehow they were able to organize and get everyone plane tickets and readjust their schedules to make it happen. It's a white Christmas miracle. I can tell this is a hit song because it says the title of the song approximately 16 billion times. You're my flashlight? Getting me through the night? Is this the most cliche pop song ever written? I mean, it's not like you'd actually leave a real flashlight on throughout the night as some kind of nightlight. That's ludicrous. Isn't this kind of how Rocky won the crowd in Rocky IV? From bullshit?
Let's do this!
Yes, I am ready for the movie to start too. Oh, mid-credits the voice scene is aggravatingly obvious product placement.
Imagine for a second that you're carrying a backpack. I want you to feel the straps on your shoulders. I want you to pack it with all the stuff that you have in your life.
And I'm gonna be your mother and your sister.
She's my daughter, my sister, my daughter. She's my sister and my daughter.
When everything's a little clearer in the light of day. Everybody wants to live like they wanna live.
You know,
Okay.
I'm like a firework.
Baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you were.
Blue shadows on the trail.
You're excited? Feel these nipples!
May I have the password, please?
Fidelio.
That's right, sir. That is the password.
On a special diet.
You gotta give me some answers.
Yes, no. To get to the other side.
The worst thing that happened is that we owe another $100 grand.
There's a fugitive warrant out for Cheney. Government will pay you $2 for bringing him in plus 10 cents a mile for each of you.
Okay, so you produced this.